What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth. This is EJ Joyful That was my elbow. If you heard a little airy noise, it was my elbow. Today we are decorating the meal planner layout. I have been needing to film a plan with me using this layout for a long time, and I'm very sorry for the delay, but it's happening today. I said last week I was going to use this as my catch-all, but I have to pivot a little bit and use a horizontal for my catch-all this week. So I'm going to use this for probably social media planning and kind of my like social media marketing line of work, I guess you could say. But just because you don't do that, if you don't do that kind of planning, this is still, I think, going to be helpful in showing you how to use a layout like this and make it work for you. I love the meal planner layout because of how it has these different sections and then a wider section down at the bottom. So as you can see, since I'm a fan of the teacher layout, this is very similar. I wonder if I have, I have a teacher layout? Yes, hold on. Let me grab a teacher layout just so you can see what it looks like. This is a teacher layout, okay? So I'm a big fan of this because it's lined, so it's easy for writing. And then I love that it's also still vertical, but you can create categories down the side. So what I always do with a teacher layout is I move all the dates to the top because I want 7 days in the week, not 5. And then these rows get recategorized. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. Here in the meal planner layout, I wonder if you guys saw this and were like, yes, I could see where she would like that. Very similar. It's already dated up at the top, but rather than having the categories down the side, they're up here. They're like headers. Size-wise, I'm terrible with measurements. Let's go from the top of someone asked me, and I've been delaying responding. I should actually do this in this video. This is just over 3.5 centimeters in height if you include the header, and this is 4 actually. So the boxes in the teacher layout are going to be a little bit taller in the classic size. Someone had asked me about color block and the color block layout and a big teacher. And I'm gonna have to get back to that person. But at least when it comes to the classic and comparing, a lined vertical like the teacher with the lined of the meal planner, you're gonna get a little bit more writing space. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections in the teacher planner. And you have 5 sections, but oh, this is what they did. They're giving us a bigger section at the bottom. That 5th row is a lot bigger, so they probably stole from the top to make a bigger section down at the bottom. So this is the meal planning planner, classic size. And the last time I checked, this was deeply clearanced in the sale section on the Happy Planner website. So you can get it on the Happy Planner website. I will link it down below if you want to get it on sale and you're open to redating and playing around with it. It is something that could be fun for you. So, but let's get to decorating. The star of the show, I think, is going to be the Keep Going sticker book. I feel like the colors in here are just, I like that they're like dirty pastels. I don't know if that makes sense, but they're much more earthy. They're not like Easter pastels. They're more, yeah, I guess earthy tones. I just think it's really pretty. I think I've only done one spread with the sticker book. So we're going to use the Keep Going sticker book. I, of course, have the colorful boxes mega book because I think I'm going to want some of these different skinny boxes to cover up the breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and ingredients to prep. And the last item I grabbed is washi tape. So this washi is like a, I don't know, khaki and spotty dotty style washi. And this is from According to Allie. Hopefully I can remember where all these came from. This is gray hexagon. This is also According to Allie. Then, I don't know, I think this is grid washi, and I think this came from a set on Amazon. I apologize. This I did not label. I've been trying to be better about labeling my washi, but I got this grid washi. I love adding pattern and texture to floral spreads. It just makes it next level adorable. So that's what we're doing. We're looking to add some texture. This pink grid washi is from the Happy Planners Be Happy box. I think it was the Grateful Heart Be Happy box. So I have 4 options for washi. The pink might be a little too pink. But when I was looking just at the cover of the sticker book, I just thought that this had the most potential. I'm likely going to use this one because when you look at colors like this that are really beautiful, they almost kind of blend together, in my opinion. And you need black to make the colors pop even more. So when you're looking at colors that seem not monochromatic, but are very kind of flat, I guess, and very neutral, you need black to kind of, I don't know, make a little bit more sense of it. So I think this is likely to be used, maybe the gray hex, but we'll see. So the first thing I want to do is figure out how to cover breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, etc. And I also need to decide if I want to redate the top. I love redating my planner because it just adds a little something something and it makes the whole spread look super cohesive. So the first thing I'm going to do is look in the Keep Going sticker book and see what shaped boxes or circles could work for redating. And I did use these at some point, I think, to redate, but there were circles, and I think the circles could, yeah, I think these could be really pretty as dates. Let me see if there's anything else. Then there's these ones if I want a little bit more color, or I just want like pattern. So do I want floral or pattern? I think I want floral. So let's do this first. Let's redate. And I always want to check and see, will the number show from underneath, or the information show from underneath? Let's see with Wednesday. Wednesday is going to need to be whited out just a little bit. And you could also go this way. I think I want to do them this way. So even though the sticker book has them displayed this way, I think I want to go this way. And I am going to white out just the days of the week, because those are probably the only thing that you'll be able to see, specifically if the day of the week is a bit longer. Okay, so, and then we have these two. Maybe we should hold on. Let's hold off just a moment on placing these and figure out how I'm going to cover these guys. And I think what I want to do is maybe use the grid washi. So if I put this here, let's move my fingers out of the way. That's why I love the tweezers so much. So if this goes here, this would be then right below it. How do I feel about that? I like this washi over the other ones because it's wider, which means I can rip it. So let's go ahead and lay some washi down and just see how it looks. I'm going to cover up the gray, I think, or I could just cover up the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's do a shorter one just to see what it looks like. And let's say I just rip a third of it off because I like a raw edge. I always like a raw edge. And then if I put this right over it like that, what do we think of that? And then I'd put a smaller box over it. So the question is, do I go that far, or do I go all the way across? Let me just take another piece and go from here. Some people who like it really clean, they don't like the ripped washi look, might just want to pick a washi width that fits perfectly the width of the shaded box, or honestly, you could just put a box over lunch. You just put a box over it. That's fine too. But again, because I like adding texture, for me, I would much prefer to add something like that. I think I like the full box better, it taking up the full box. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this as is because I'm happy with that. And let's see if I can lift this up. Easy peasy. And we will just get going with a lot of ripping. The other thing I could do is if I wanted to make things more complicated, hold on, let's just play for a second. What if I alternated ripped grid with straight hex? I'm starting to eat into my writing space, which I have mixed feelings about. But I'm still kind of slow in getting my social media game up and running, so maybe I wouldn't have that much to write. I'm going to go ahead and alternate the hex and the grid, and if I regret it, I'll just lift it up, and you guys will find out if I do that. We'll see. So while I'm doing this, let me just say I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're doing all right. Busy days we are in. I hope there comes a day in my life where I could say, you know what? I don't have anything going on. My life is super boring right now. Nothing exciting's happening. I have so much free time. I just don't know what to do with all my free time. Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome if that happens, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I'm definitely narrowing in these spaces, which I don't love. So I might actually leave the grid as is, but cut the washi strip to size, actually, the hex washi strip to size. We'll see. We shall see. We'll lay this down. This is going to take a hot minute, so I do think I'm going to have to edit this video. I didn't think about how much time it would take to kind of relabel stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on both sides, and when we get back, the washi will be all set and pretty. So I'll see you in a minute. Well, for me, it will be a few minutes. For you, it will be 1 second. And just like that, the washi tape is done. I did take a little bit more time to trim the hexagon washi so that it's basically in alignment with the shaded box, just to give us a little bit more space. And now I can think about how I want to position these guys, which I said I wanted to be something like that. And now I'm kind of second guessing. I'm gonna hold off on this again and actually position the boxes that will, show me what the categories are for each section. The one thing with using the meal planner layout like a subject layout is that you have a little bit less space. Obviously, if you're adding the titles of the sections on the side, you're not taking up writing room over here. So you just have to decide how much writing do you really need to do, and do you write small? Do you not have that much going on this week? Then this would be fine. But if you have a lot of writing to do, then obviously the amount of space I've taken up with washi tape and with boxes won't really work right. So in looking at the Keep Going sticker book, we definitely want something in the neutral, natural colors. And while I could look through this book for, like, there are these guys, but there's not enough of them. There are these little arrow boxes. Got some flags. That's good to remember. I don't know if I want arrows. I feel like that could look a little funky. So I'm gonna go to the neutral section in this Colorful Boxes, Mega Colorful Boxes book, and just see if there are any fun shapes in here. And I'm gonna stick to the brown category. So let's go to the beginning of the browns and just see what we have. These are obviously too big. So there are neutral circles if I wanted to date that way. You could also, if I wanted to redate in a different way than those circles with the flowers, I could redate with something like this, which could allow me to put some flowers underneath. Ooh, you guys, I think we're gonna pivot. Okay, we're gonna come back to the circles. Because the circles in this book already have flowers, I couldn't really add a lot of flowers up at the top because they already had flowers. But if I went with a neutral circle, then I could pop some flowers underneath, and I kind of like that idea. So here are our neutral boxes. Let me just see how these would look. This is a really light one. But yeah, I mean, I could just kind of center it like that. Or see, because I have the washi covering up breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, ingredients to prep, and they were all down the center, I actually could move my categories back like over here if I wanted to. And I could do them at an angle, which would be like an ode to my brother's layout. And that would, you know, give me, kind of open things back up. That's not a bad idea. Okay, so I like the shape of these. Let's keep going. Those are gonna be too big. These are also too big. Now there are some other not really colorful, ooh, but this could also be an interesting way to do it too, if it was like a flag. That would be really interesting. Wouldn't that be kind of interesting? Like, I need to figure out how many categories I need, and maybe I would be able to actually connect them, like where this is a category. So let's say you're using this as your catch-all and you want to have a place for to-dos. Okay, that's a very standard thing. Or let's say appointments. Let's say you've got a lot of appointments this week. You could have this whole section be for appointments if you have a lot going on this week, in which case you could have a label like this that says appointments, and then this whole section is for appointments. It's okay to use a bigger sticker if you're going to use up all that. And then when you're looking at them side by side, you actually don't have to do the category again on the second page if this is kind of standing on its own. Do you know what I mean? So this could be a section, this could be a section, and then this could be a section. So for me this week, I want to track my posts and uploads. I want to track follower and subscriber count, which has basically been, nothing has changed because I haven't been posting regularly. But I want to track that, and then just any information that's coming out from brands that I work with. And then maybe just something cool that happened in social media during the week. So like a journaling section. So potentially I could actually combine sets, and then this whole section could be for like stats for the week or something like that, or my reflection for the week. So this is also a contender now. See how I get really thoughty when I'm planning, because I'm trying to anticipate, what am I really going to be using my planner for this week? What do I want to be writing down? And I want to make sure I create a space for it. So like if I know I have an appointment, I would use a box sticker where there's an appointment. That kind of thing, trying to look ahead, think ahead. Got some nice margin stickers, which I would definitely be interested in throwing down the left margin. We've got some bigger circles, which bigger circles could also be a way to categorize a section. if I wanted to do dun, dun, dun. Although I think for this purpose, I like the banner idea better. So if I'm going to redate, I'd want to use the smaller circles. And then, oh, I mean, these are kind of a fun shape too. These kind of smaller flags. You kind of just put it off center like that. Or you could put it back in the center if that's where you want to do it. Or these could also be for dating. Since I'm just not sure yet, well, let's finish looking at these boxes. And these are interesting. This is a very interesting shape. We haven't seen much of that shape. Then we've got shaded boxes. Those are fun. These might be a little too big. Then we've got this size, although I think I like the solidly open circles. I do like that shape. Okay, let's, gosh, I need to make a decision. I'm gonna go ahead and go with my gut of putting flowers up at the top because I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of flowers in the middle of the planner because I've got too much stuff I wanna be able to write down. So I'm gonna go ahead and white these out. And normally my go-to is my Uniball white inked pen, but when I'm whiting out something that's a little bit more, I don't know, bulky, I go with the Tombow Air whiteout correction tapes. So this is the Mono Air 6. It's a little bit smaller, and then this is the hybrid style mono correction tape. And honestly, I actually like the smaller one better. They operate the same, they work well. I just like the way the smaller one feels when I'm pressing down, but both of these are excellent if you were looking for correction tape. So since we've whited out or corrected out the top, I'm gonna go ahead and place down some flowers, and I just need to pick my style of flower. Probably gonna be one of these clear ones down here. Do I wanna go with big? Do I wanna go with clusters? Maybe we do a little mix and match. So I'm gonna move one sheet out of the way and we're just gonna focus on these smaller ones, and then I'll add some big ones kind of around. So all I'm doing is cutting them in half, or maybe I'll cut one in thirds or something like that. And the flat edge, I'm putting flush up to the washi tape. And then maybe we'll put this guy on this. Well, let's put this guy here. And then let's take maybe one of these leaves and kind of just go up that way. And let's cut over to maybe some of these bigger ones like this. Cut your stickers, folks. Makes a huge difference. So we got the little baby flowers, and now I'm just gonna throw this big one. How about right there? And let's see. So we're gonna save this for the other side. Actually, I can just go ahead and throw it down. So I'm just trying to kind of mix up. Here, we'll move this big one over here. Try to get it as flush to the washi tape as possible. And I'm gonna grab, I think I want more blue on this side, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut this first. And maybe throw this one here. I'm just layering florals. Layer, layer, layer. I'm gonna set this one aside because I'm gonna come back to it. Maybe we can, I need more blue. Maybe I can cut this one a bit. When you gotta pick a sticker this size, you can do a lot with it. So maybe I'm just gonna cut, let's see. If I go that way, I'm just going to cut this one here, and then whatever angle I cut it at is basically the way the flower is going to go, and I'll just make sense of it as I go adding other flowers. So we still have this guy, and I kind of want some blue over here, so I'm just gonna do a little sticker surgery like that, and see if I can kind of nestle a blue. Let's trim this little piece off. Once the flowers are all kind of flattened a bit, I think I'm gonna have to cut this leaf off too. You won't be able to tell that it's a bunch of different stickers stuck together, especially if you use the paper folding tool, the bone, like I have. Cool. I mean, it looks, when you look at it up closely, you think, oh, there's a flower coming out of a leaf, but it could be behind it. You never know. Let's add this leaf. We'll set this aside, but I am going to come back to it. Maybe we add this little baby guy here just to kind of fill it in a little bit. And I'm going to go back to the smaller ones because I think these are really good for filler. But when you use the bone, did I finish my sentence? When you use the paper folding tool, the bone, to press out the air bubbles, it really does blend all the different stickers together that you've stuck together. So I am a big fan. I think I want this to go over naturally. See if I can kind of cut that little daisy off and then throw this one down. That works. That'll do. And then I have this little daisy, but I'm not sure. I don't think this date, well, let's see if I can salvage this daisy. If I cut it, basically I always make straight edges and then add little pieces back in to kind of fill it back in. So there's a little bit. Okay, let me show you. So can you see that? And then if I lay this down right here, you see just a little pop of that. This is one of those things that you absolutely do not have to do, but I really have fun working in the intricate details, and it gives me peace. It's calming. I mean, that's why I think a lot of us decorative plan is because obviously we get some sort of satisfaction and peace from it. And I know that is true for me. So getting into the details, you know, on a week where you're busy and you do not have time for this kind of stuff, obviously you're not going to take this little tiny scrap and like stick it in somewhere. But if you're just feeling stressed and overwhelmed with life and you just want to sit at your desk and feel like a surgeon, there is nothing like the joys of working in the details and finding a good fit for your stickers. I want to take a nice big spot up right here with this guy. And I've got a little piece left that I might just set aside. So when you've got a piece of sticker like this that you've cut off, I'm telling you, it can be used. So just throw it back in your sticker book. Okay, let's grab the boning tool. And this is what the bone is. And I'm just gonna push down all the stickers. And they kind of just gel down into each other. And it's really satisfying seeing all of the air bubbles get pushed out and see the stickers really kind of meld into the paper. think it looks pretty. And then you'll also want to see, did any of your stickers go off the page? And if so, trim those off. If any went over these holes, obviously I'm going to have to, I think that one did, I'm going to have to hole punch again. All right. I think that looks really pretty. So let me trim off a little bit of the leaf that was there. And I think there's a little bit, see a little bit of clear plastic there. And then let me grab my, hopefully it's in here. It's not in here. Y'all, where's my hole punch? I have a single disc punch, the power disc punch. I do not know where it is. So we're going to make do for the moment by just carving out that little section like that. Cool. Okay, so now that's done, I feel more confident in laying down my redates. And I'm pretty committed at this point, I think, to the circles. Are you guys cool with the circles? I hope you're cool with the circles. Okay, and yeah, I like that they're all kind of neutral brownie. They're going to cover some of the flowers. That's like part of the plan, but that's okay. So the point is that the flowers are kind of peeking out from around the circles. I'm gonna try to vary the colors a bit. But I think that looks nice. I think it looks really nice. If I can get them all lined up okay. I think it's pretty. Look, I think that's really pretty. Let's keep going. Finish her up. Oh no. Oh wait, no, I do have enough. I thought for a moment I didn't have enough circles, but I do. I do indeed. We'll go here. I have exactly enough circles. Thank goodness. That was going to be a close one. I hate when that happens. When I'm trying to do something super symmetrical and then I'm missing a sticker. Okay. Cute. Y'all, does it look cute to you? It looks really cute to me. And I just had an idea. Since we have the flowers popping out, they're underneath the days of the week, I maybe will have flowers sticking out underneath whatever I decide to use to label my sections. I think that makes a lot of sense. And now that I see all this up here, I want to balance it over here, which means I am not going to relabel exactly where it was pre-printed breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and ingredients to prep. You guys follow my train of thought there? So that means I want to settle on my shape, and I was leaning towards these bigger flags, remember? And if I were to do these bigger flags, then I would want to go to the florals. Let's see if I can do like a mock-up. And basically have the florals popping out on the, do I want to lay this down? I haven't been using wax paper lately. I've been trying to be efficient, I guess, in my planning and just making decisions without, thinking hard about it. But yeah, I mean, I could do flowers along that way. But now that I'm looking at it, I feel like these are too big. I like that they're different than a box. I like that, but I kind of think it's too much. What about the smaller ones? The smaller ones might work. If I did them, and I have enough for each section. So I could post it kind of, let's say like where this point is flush with the line like that, right? And then I could have if I did the flowers like this, and then, I mean, I'd have to make a bigger cut, do you know what I mean? But then the flowers would be like that. I think I'm gonna do it. I think we're gonna go for it because I will take way too long trying to make up my mind. So this is what we're gonna use to set up our categories. I think I'm gonna leave each section separate and then just make like a bunch of different cuts. Try to keep it as wide as possible because I want, maybe we'll go like that. And then what if I had the top of this be flush with the bottom? Could be flush with the bottom of the original shaded section, but then the corner to the line like that. It's not bad. Mixed feelings. I think we should just go with it because this could take me a long time to make up my mind. So I'm gonna leave it like that. And because this type of flower was here, I didn't wanna put it right here. So we're gonna change up the flower type. So since we did the small daisies, let's do a shape we haven't seen yet, like something like this. I mean, that's kind of fun. And although it will start to cut into this space, but I think that's okay because I'll just do stats there maybe. Let's see, so I'm going to cut it about that angle, straight-ish, and I'm gonna line it up like so. And these look pretty similar in neutrality, so I'm gonna pick a darker color, although these are all starting to look the same. No, I think that'll be fine. Flush it up to the top of the washi and the arrow there. What do we think, guys? It's a little different. And since we did the small flowers, let's do, ooh, what if we did something like super punchy like this one? I mean, it would have to be maybe that way just to change it up a little bit. And then I need something pretty small. Maybe this one goes down here. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do a cut there. And I'll stick that right there. So far, so good. And let's take a light one and throw it right there. Ooh, this is interesting, folks. So we've got this kind of peachy color, and then what if we did, like, this is an interesting type of flower. What if we did this one like going that way? I think that could work. And then we'll do the small flowers here. Let's do that. So we'll cut, let's try here and hope it works. Sometimes I just cut blindly. Oops. Sometimes I cut blindly and hope it works out. I'm gonna go a little bit higher this time on this one. And let's go with a, isn't it funny? These are all starting to look the same. Let's go with this guy. Flush to the washi, pointing on the line, like so. And then let's go back to these small flowers and see if we can find a good shape here. Like so. Now the daisies and this like more lavendery one are down, so I kind of feel like they should then be up because we want the clusters to look a little different. and this flower is the same as that one. So I'm gonna change things up and flip it this way. So we'll cut it right there. And drop it down along the line. And last banner, let's go with this kind of dirty looking one. Flush with the shaded, and there we go. Woofda! How are we doing? Are you guys breathing with me? Are you still with me? Leave me a comment if you're still watching at this exact moment, and let me know what you think so far. Be nice. Be nice. I'm still finding my rhythm, you guys. No, you're always nice. What am I saying? Okay, so I'm pushing out all of the air bubbles because it just looks better. I'm telling you, I've said it a million times if you watch my videos, but I will say it again. Can you see the difference? So these have not been pushed out. Can you see? I hope it's picking up that there's air. And then when you press the air out, suddenly there's no air and you've got a seamless transition. It's really hard for me when I'm watching like reels on Instagram where people are doing quick plan with me reels. I can see really clearly if they haven't like really pressed down the clear stickers. And it's like everything in my power to not be like, dude, like, can I give you a tip? Like, it'll look so much more like put together if you just press the air out. Or when people do like Fun Corner Friday, sometimes, why isn't this, is not wanting to stick down. When people post like Fun Corner Friday pictures, so that the picture is just of the corner of their planner and it's really up close and you can see the air, I'm just like, girl, let me help you out, boo. Let me help you out. Okay, so look at all the writing space we have preserved just by moving stuff off to the perimeters. I have been saying this a lot more recently with decorative planning. Excuse me, if you don't know how to decorate and you really want to make sure that your planner serves a purpose and a function for lots of writing, absolutely keep your decorations on the exterior so that you have plenty of writing space in the center. I know I will get overwhelmed if I decorate a spread with like clusters and stuff all the way around, or like box stickers and stuff. I feel this like immense guilt when I don't know what to put. I'm not going to use that sticker book. I don't know why I grabbed it. I feel so much guilt when I don't know what to put in the boxes. And really, I'm like, I just need to be able to write a list this week, but I got all these boxes everywhere. So doing it this way allows you to write as you go throughout the week. This is the Planner Basics mini sticker book. This is, I bought another one of these specifically for the first, 6 pages of these dates. These are my favorite dates of all the stickers that I have from small shops and from the Happy Planner. These clear number stickers, big number stickers, are my absolute favorite. There is nothing sexier, I said it, nothing sexier than a big, bold number in my planner. Now, I do have the Date It sticker book from Mojo Jojo Plans. I love that one too, but the font on this Happy Planner one will always be my first go-to. So I'm not going to write the days of the week because I just don't think I need it. I know that my weeks start on Monday. I just care about the numbers. So I'm going to, this is where I get to decide if I want to be avant-garde. Do I want to put it on the outside? Do I want to put it centered? I think today I'm going to go centered in the circle, just like that. I like these because they're bold and punchy, and I feel like this spread needs black. I really do. And even seeing this now, I'm like, I need to add black like over here for balance. So we're going to try to figure out how to do that. Hopefully I can do that. But for me, I don't like when my spreads are washed out. And that's why I usually steer clear of like lots of pastels. If I'm going to use something soft, again, like this neutral palette from the Keep Going sticker book, I have to add black. Part of it, I think it's just my eye appreciates it. And when I look at pictures of my spreads, which Instagram has kind of become like where I get to see a catalog of, I know this sounds strange, but catalog of like my artwork. I am much more drawn to the spreads that have like the juxtaposition of soft colors with black. I tend to not, my eye doesn't typically go towards the spreads that are really neutral. And by neutral, I just mean light in color. So this to me is like, yes. Okay, so we got to do the same thing. Oh no, don't be too aggressive though, especially when you got a skinny stem. We're gonna push down on that one, but make sure you press all these down because these are clear stickers. If they're clear, they get extra attention. So anyways, I know some people might look at this and go, whoa, like the black is too much, it's too stark, but I like it. I like the black. I'm curious if you have also found that when you use really neutral colors, black just makes it look like so much better. Let me know if you feel that way. I think what I'm gonna do is, makes me want to add black down here. So I'm trying to think, what would I use a box for if I did put a black box down there? Like, could I get really creative? Like, could I take a box like this and actually trim it so that it's narrow? And then I'd have black down here? Or should I find just a narrower box and flip it? I need black in this spread. I wish you guys were here to give me some suggestions. The alternative is actually changing these out to black. Could I change these out to black? Hold on. Hold up, you guys. If I do this, I think this will be the last element of the spread. Hold on. Let me go to the black section of the Colorful Boxes book and see if I've used the little, I have not used the triangles yet. Okay, bear with me for a second. I don't want to waste these though. That's my only, and I might have to use a bunch of undo. Well, before I actually do it, let me take one. I mean, these aren't all black. They're going to be various shades. I mean, I could just put them on top, and then I will have wasted 5 stickers. I wish these were all black. Okay, so there are 3 that are very dark. Oh, but I think it looks cool. What if I just threw in, this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to throw this guy, this black triangle dude. I'm just going to put it right on top. And then there are a couple more that are not quite black, but they're dark in tone. And I'm going to pop them on just to change this up. Every other one. Let's go with this gray guy. Will the gray one work? Or is it too close to the... Do I do that one? Or do I do... So I'm only wasting 3 stickers at this point with how I'm layering. I think I do the darker one. Let's do it. I'm just going to line it up like so. All right, guys, what do you think? I feel like that, like, I don't know, it like pulled it together in a different way. So I'm very happy with that change. Glad I took the time to do that. I do feel like I need something down here. And so I'm going to add more flowers, I think. I think we need, oh, and there are these big ones. Look at these. What if I did like a little cluster down here? So we've got blues up here. We've got some creams down here. So I want to stay away from the cream ones, I think, because I think we have plenty. Although, look at that one. That's a nice big one. I kind of like that. And then I could add another color. Let me think about this for a second. Even if I threw it, do I want it inside the box or outside the box? Maybe outside the box. Like that. I can live with that. I can dig it. Let's trim this part off. Keep that as a flat edge because I might want to use this. And actually, maybe to match this, I can change the April to Happy Planner April, like Happy Planner Writing. Do you know what I mean? In which case, I could just put a flower here. You know what I mean? And then put April on top of it. Let's do that just to add a little something, something. I know we got a little distracted here, but I like to find an immediate use for stickers I've cut if I can. So I'm gonna throw that right there. Trim off the top. And then let's go back to this side and pull this guy off. Press it down. We're finding our rhythm. Do you guys feel like you know my planning style at this point? If you've been watching me for a while, are you like, we know what you're gonna do, Elizabeth. You always do the same thing. Okay, so let's find April. And this is where I am gonna grab this. It's called a botanicals book, but this one has a hair in it. It has handwritten boxes. It has clear, look at this, clear words. Let's grab April. And it's not like exactly the same font as the writing, but I feel like that bold black matches better than the pre-printed April. So I'm just gonna throw, and do I want it to be, I think we wanna do it on the flower, like so. Let's get this guy all pressed down. Lovely. So now I need to figure out my categories, right? I've got all this space for writing, but I have not decided what I'm going to write. So I think I'm going to, let me grab my, let me check the tip size. That's a pretty thick tip. I like that. So I'm going to label this Instagram. I'm going to label this YouTube. I'm going to label, let's see, this to do. I'm going to label this, what do I want down here? Should I just do like notes down here? I'll just label this note, N-O-T-E. And then what do I want that one for? Instagram, YouTube, to do. Maybe I'll do hashtag, which is not really a hashtag, it's actually number. There we go. That's a sign for numbers for all you millennials out there, not for hashtags. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it good. Let's see what this looks like on discs. I have my handy dandy disc bound notebook, and we'll move this stuff out of the way. So in case you didn't know, I actually keep a deluxe snap-in hardcover and gold metal discs on hand with a bunch of different types of paper just for like looking at my planner on discs. And then all of my pictures actually look the same on Instagram because they're all taken in the same planner without all of the like the different tabs, because I'm a Franken planner and it gets kind of messy with all my tabs. So that's why we put it in this, guys. Let me line things up. Okay, we are done. You guys can see it just fine. This is my social media / what am I doing with my life business planner for the first full week in April. I think this is so pretty. I have plenty of space to write. It is very functional, but it is also very decorative. If I can find somewhere in the middle where it's super fun and creative for me to make and it looks pretty and I have writing space, then I've like hit the nail on the head. So this is it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Come hang out with me on Instagram. My handle is ejjoyful_plans. It is always a good time, friends. And you're going to want to stick around this week. This is a big week. I've got a couple of big videos coming up on my channel. So if you are not subscribed, definitely subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you get an alert when I've posted a new video this week. I'm telling you, I got some big news that I cannot wait to share with you. So stay tuned, friends. Until next time, God bless you and keep you. Do something creative today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.